Welcome to this video lecture, which is meant to introduce you to the x squared t squared method of analyzing reflection seismic data. So first off, here is a seismogram. It's actually quite simplified so that you only see the reflection. Obviously, in a real seismogram, you would have multiple pulses representing the direct wave, refracted waves, and reflections. But for simplicity in this video lecture, we're only going to look at the reflected wave that we are interested in. And here you can see it. And you can see that it has a sort of parabolic shape. It does not create a straight line, and that's because of the normal move out. One way of analyzing this type of data is to create an x squared t squared plot. So this literally means that you're taking the distance from the shot and squaring it, and you're taking the two-way travel times and squaring them, and then plotting these two parameters against one another in order to get a plot very similar to the xt plot, from which you can use slopes to determine velocities and intercept times to help you figure out the thicknesses of the layers. Once you are able to determine the velocity and the intercept time off of that graph, then determining the thickness is really just a matter of plug and chug. The values determined for the first layer are going to be correct because the ray paths through this layer are straight lines. But for deeper layers, they're really only approximations, and that's because refraction will happen at the interface, either towards the normal or away. Reflection can actually see both. And in the x squared t squared method, we typically run the numbers as if no refraction occurred. So obviously there's going to be some error in our data, but assuming that the reflection angles were fairly steep, you're not going to have a lot of refraction, and you will have a pretty good approximation to those deeper layers, even if the velocities and depths aren't quite exact. Here's just the equations that you'll be using for to figure out the thickness of the layer. You can see over here how everything is squared because you're working with an x squared t squared plot. And then over here, we've just solved the previous equation for H1. And this is what we'll be using to determine the thicknesses of our layers. Okay, so here we have a data set, and I want to just go through as an example and analyze this data. So to start with, we want to figure out all of the X positions of our geophones. Where were they at? So it looks like in this example, the first geophone was put out 15 meters from the shot point, the energy source. So in a table, we're going to write 15. And then our next distance was 25, so we're going to write 25, and then 35, and so on down the list, and we can just fill that in. All right, well, the next thing we need to do is just square those numbers. So we can use Google or our calculator, just type in 15 squared, and you get a number, 225. And then same thing for 25, just 25 squared is this, and so on down the chart. Okay, now we have to determine the arrival time of the waves. So the arrival time is the two-way travel time, and that's just going to be where it appears on this axis down here. So if we start up at x equals 15 meters, it looks like our very first deviation happens right here at about 49 or 50. Okay, and then the next one is a little bit later, but not much. So maybe that's at 51 or 52. So here, there, and then you're just going to keep on going down the list to the best of your ability, determining the onset of those arrivals. It's a little bit difficult on this plot just because there's a whole 25 milliseconds in between lines, but we're just going to do our best. And when I went down the line, I got these numbers. Okay, now I need to figure out what t squared is because this is the number I actually want to plot. So I take t and I type into my calculator 49 squared. I get this, and then I type 52 squared, I get this. and so on down the line. And now I have all of the x squared, t squared values that I need, so I can go ahead and plot those. And I get this plot, right? So just to double check that our numbers look good, obviously if you had created this plot on your own, you would know the numbers are good, but to convince us that we've done this right, I'm gonna double check 225 on the x squared axis. Notice this is 5,000 here, so 225 is going to be way over here, and that has a t squared of 2401 milliseconds, which sure, that looks like it's right about there. And we could go on and check our other points, but they're all going to work out, right? All of our x squareds and all of our t squareds. So we've plotted all of those. The next step is to figure out the velocity. Well, this is the whole reason why we use the x squared t squared method. It's so simple, it's so similar to refraction, because all we need to do is to look at the slopes, except in this case, instead of the velocity being equal to 1 over the slope, the velocity is equal to 1 over the square root of the slope. So again, this is just the velocity of whichever layer it is that those reflections came off of. So we're talking about the layer above that, right? So the first layer, if you have reflections like this, we're talking about the layer, the first layer, the velocity of that first layer. So how do we determine that? It's 1 over the square root of the slope. And so it turns out that the slope of this line is actually 10.5, and if we take 1 divided by the square root of that, we can actually determine that the velocity is 0.308, like shown here. Okay, now that we have the velocity, we need to figure out the thickness of the layer. Luckily, we have our nifty little equation for that right here, relating the thickness of the layer to the intercept time and the velocity. We've got the velocity, so what's the intercept time? Well, the intercept time squared, we can easily read off the graph right here. We take the square root of that, and we have our intercept time. We can plug that number right in here, so this is going to be 50 milliseconds times 0.308 meters per second divided by 2, and that is going to give us our thickness of the layer that this reflected ray traveled through. And it's important to note that we had some unit issues there, so that was milliseconds and seconds. There are 1,000 milliseconds per second, so I've just multiplied that by 1,000 to get that into better units for us. Okay, so there you have it. We started out with just a really simple reflection. We know it's a reflection because it's not a straight line on if you're looking at it just in xt space. Instead, it does trace out a parabola due to the normal move out. We can use an x squared t squared plot to determine velocity and to determine thickness. Now, if we had multiple layers to consider, we would want to create a separate x squared t squared plot for each layer. Only the first reflection is going to have truly accurate values for velocity and depth, but all of the other layers will be fairly good approximations. Okay, just to recap the method, the first thing you do when you're looking at the seismogram is to determine the times and the distances of the reflected pulses. Square those. Make the plot, the x squared t squared plot. Fit a straight line to the data. Determine the velocity of the layer from the slope of the line. And then determine the thickness of the layer from the velocity you just determined and from the intercept time, which is just the y-intercept, the plus b part of y equals mx plus b equation. And that's it. That is the x squared t squared method. It's a really great method for determining velocities and thicknesses from reflection seismic data. I hope this helps you to be able to perform this analysis on your own. And please let me know if you have any questions.